What is going on, everybody? You need to stop what you're doing right now because the Cleveland Browns are in complete meltdown mode. I'm talking about organizational chaos on a level we haven't seen in years. We've got a quarterback controversy that makes zero sense, a coaching staff acting like they're hiding state secrets, and practice footage leaking that's exposing everything. This isn't just regular NFL drama. This is full-blown dysfunction happening in real time, and we have all the evidence. Let me break down exactly what's happening in Cleveland right now, because this story has more twists than you can imagine. We're talking viral practice videos, coaches making ridiculous excuses, reporters doing actual investigative work, and Shedeur Sanders stuck in the middle of what might be the most dysfunctional franchise situation we've seen in recent memory. Mary Kay Cabot has been absolutely crushing it with her coverage. She's been getting footage of Shedeur's practice sessions like she's infiltrating some top-secret facility, and the content she's delivering is absolutely premium. The clip that went nuclear across social media shows Shedeur throwing absolute lasers to Jerry Jeudy. I'm talking about passes so crisp, so perfect, they should be in a quarterback textbook. Watch the footage closely and you'll see everything you need to know about why Browns fans are losing their minds. Shedeur is executing perfect footwork, his arm motion is textbook, and those passes have tight spirals with velocity, accuracy, and placement that would make elite quarterbacks jealous. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. While Shedeur is out there looking like the next great quarterback prospect, Dillon Gabriel is literally getting pushed around by equipment managers. There's actual footage of Dillon Gabriel nearly getting knocked over by someone just walking past him in practice. Not a linebacker, not a defensive end, just a regular person moving through space at normal speed. The comments on social media are roasting this situation mercilessly. One fan perfectly summarized it: Dillon has plenty of experience on those 5-yard checkdowns, no need to practice them anymore since he usually has 10 to 30 per game. That's brutal, but when you look at Gabriel's film, that's exactly what you see. Safe throws, minimal risk, maximum boring. Now let's talk about the absolute insanity coming from the coaching staff. Kevin Stefanski and his crew have been doing something completely bizarre over the past week and a half. They've stopped saying Shedeur Sanders' name. Not in press conferences, not in interviews, nowhere. Tony Rizzo from ESPN Cleveland went back through 8 separate press conferences, and not once did Kevin Stefanski refer to Shedeur by name. Think about how crazy that is. This is a quarterback on your roster, someone you're evaluating, a player who could potentially be your franchise's future, and the head coach is acting like he's Voldemort. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees jumped on the excuse train earlier this week, spending forever defending Dillon Gabriel while refusing to even mention Shedeur's name. The Cleveland media has had enough. Tony Rizzo has been on an absolute warpath this week. This veteran Cleveland sports journalist laid out the situation with crystal clarity. Once your coach starts not making sense, it's the beginning of the end. Rizzo went further, suggesting that Kevin Stefanski might be at the "I don't care anymore" stage of his tenure. That point where someone's so fed up with their job, they're basically daring their boss to fire them. And when you look at the decisions being made, it makes sense. You've got a promising young talent in Shedeur Sanders, who's shown nothing but poise, maturity, and elite arm talent, and you're not even giving him a fair shake. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is taking sacks in crucial situations like it's part of his job description. 4th and 1, game on the line, Gabriel takes a sack instead of just handing the ball off. End of the first half, 12 seconds left, no timeouts, in field goal range, Gabriel takes another sack and nearly costs his team 3 points. These are exactly the errors you'd expect from someone who isn't ready for this level, yet the coaching staff is riding or dying with him while treating Shedeur like he committed some unforgivable crime. Rizzo and his co-hosts theorized about what could possibly explain this bizarre behavior. One theory is that Stefanski got paid last year and might be comfortable enough financially that he's willing to go down with the ship on his own terms. Another theory suggests there's genuine friction between the coaching staff and Shedeur's camp. Whatever the reason, the optics are terrible for Cleveland. The veil of secrecy is suffocating. Press conferences have become painful exercises in saying nothing. Stefanski has gone full Bill Belichick mode, except without the success to justify it. Let's talk about Shedeur's response, because the young man has handled this situation with remarkable grace. In a recent interview, he talked about learning to handle different situations and, most tellingly, about keeping his personality slimmer because not everyone understands it. Think about what he's really saying. This naturally charismatic, playful, confident young quarterback is being told he needs to tone himself down. When asked about criticism, Shedeur's response was perfect. He's just trying to start something.
We're not on no negativity from now on. I'm just here to be positive. This 23-year-old is handling a circus-like situation with more composure than coaches 3 times his age.
Here's what makes this so frustrating for Browns fans. They can see what Shedeur brings to the table. Every practice clip that leaks, every throw captured on camera screams franchise quarterback. The arm talent is undeniable. The leadership qualities are obvious. The football IQ is evident. Yet somehow, inexplicably, he can't get on the field. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is nearly getting knocked over by people just walking. How is this the guy the coaching staff has decided to hitch their wagon to? The Jerry-Jeudy connection is particularly interesting. Jeudy is Cleveland's most talented receiver who knows what good quarterback play looks like. The fact that he's working extensively with Shedeur in practices, that you can see the chemistry developing, tells you something. Receivers know quarterbacks better than anyone, and Jeudy clearly sees something special in Shedeur. Let's zoom out to the broader context. The Cleveland Browns have been searching for a franchise quarterback since they returned to the NFL in 1999. That's 25 years of futility. Tim Couch, Brady Quinn, Brandon Weeden, Johnny Manziel, Cody Kessler, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson. Now they have a talented young quarterback with legitimate pedigree who dominated at Colorado under the biggest microscope in college football, and they're treating him like radioactive waste. It's the most Cleveland Browns thing imaginable. The timing of this drama is suspect. We're approaching a crucial point in the season where playoff hopes aren't completely dead. This is when coaches typically make moves to spark the team, to try something different. Yet Cleveland seems content to run it back with the same formula that hasn't been producing results. Tommy Rees's press conference was particularly telling. He spent forever defending Gabriel's decision-making and accuracy, but when reporters asked about Shedeur, his energy completely changed. He became evasive, gave non-answers, and quickly moved on. What makes this even more perplexing is that Cleveland isn't in a position where they need to protect anything. They're not sitting pretty with playoff positioning locked in. They're struggling, fighting for relevance, in desperate need of a spark. This is exactly when you'd expect a coaching staff to take a chance on the high upside option. Instead, they're playing it safe with the lower ceiling quarterback while the guy with star potential watches from the sideline. The practice footage tells a story that stats can't. You can see Shedeur's confidence, the way he commands the huddle, how receivers respond to him. This is a young man raised in football royalty, groomed for this moment his entire life, with the mental makeup to succeed at the highest level. Contrast that with Dillon Gabriel, who looks tentative at times, hasn't shown the same command presence, and is making critical errors in pressure situations. The Browns fan base is reaching a breaking point. After decades of quarterback instability, false promises, and organizational incompetence, they're done with smoke and mirrors. They want to see the player who gives them the best chance to win on the field making plays. Right now, based on everything visible to the public eye, that player appears to be Shedeur Sanders. What happens next could define this franchise for years. If Cleveland continues down this path, refuses to play Shedeur, and the season spirals further, there will be consequences. Stefanski's job security is now being openly questioned. Tommy Rees is facing criticism for his quarterback management. The front office will have to answer why they drafted players they won't use.
For Shedeur personally, how he handles this adversity, maintains his preparation level despite not playing, and stays ready for when his opportunity comes will say everything about his character. So far, he's handling it like a true pro.
The maturity he's shown, his refusal to create drama, speaks volumes. The entire situation feels like it's building toward an inevitable conclusion. At some point, whether through injury, continued poor performance, or organizational pressure, Shedeur Sanders is going to get his chance. When that moment comes, all eyes will be on Cleveland to see if they've been making the biggest mistake of the season. The practice footage suggests they have been. The coaching staff's bizarre behavior suggests there's more to this story, and Browns fans are left wondering why their team can't get out of its own way. This is the kind of storyline that makes the NFL simultaneously compelling and infuriating. We're watching organizational dysfunction play out in real time with real consequences for people's careers and a fan base's hope. The talent is clearly there. The opportunity is present. All that's missing is the willingness from the coaching staff to pull the trigger and see what they really have in Shedeur Sanders. One thing is certain, this story is far from over.